Is Daddy ever coming back?
I don't know, honey. Maybe someday when he's ready. But don't you worry, Mommy always comes back.
Currently available for free with Xbox Game Pass is the hidden little booty known as Contrast, a game I highly suggest you pluck from the shadows. This gem is set in the crime-filled, illuminated streets of Paris during the 1920s. You play as Dawn, the imaginary best friend of Dee Dee, a young girl who appears to be retreating into her own made-up fantasy land in order to deal with the darkness looming over her real life. Dawn, being imaginary, has the ability to slip into the shadow world, and this is where the unique gameplay hook comes full circle as the game combines a mix of 3D platforming in the real world and 2D platforming in the shadow realm to create a light manipulating, puzzle solving adventure that is as smart as it is endlessly charming. And while the whole light bending, puzzle based antics of the game may not be as fresh as they were when the title was released, Contrast's unique illusion based, noir soaked, cabaret and jazz centric City of Light setting is so strikingly unique that you'll find yourself just wanting to live in the world for as long as possible. Thankfully, the playful yet deceptively dark and often mature themes and stories sees that you do. It does have some jank and can feel a little unpolished at times, but trust me, in stark contrast to critics' opinion of the game, Contrast is actually in fact a twistedly fun, visually distinct yet flawed experience, well worth your time, and proves that even the shiniest of gems can be a little rough around the edges.
What you don't know can hurt you.
Get back! You would never lie to me, would you?
When an ancient evil rises and threatens the world,
A demonstration is in order.
there's only one man who can stop it.
And you are?
Marlo Briggs.
3D hack and slashers have a tendency to be a little bit, well, overly serious and melodramatic. However, one God of War clone that knows exactly how dumb it is and has its tongue well and firmly placed in its cheek is Marlo Briggs and the Mask of Death, a balls to the wall action spectacle that's as amusing as it is stupidly entertaining. The game's B-movie-esque story is a little light, but essentially sees you taking down an evil big bad and rescuing your girl after you've been brought back to life by a talking Mayan mask. Obviously, like all good games where a mask brings you back to life, this grants Marlo some special abilities to help him achieve his goal.
Rise, sacred warrior. Rise and breathe air, free of the stench of Shivalba once more.
Yeah, the story's not the star here, but is still quite engaging thanks to dialogue that's perfectly delivered by a cast who are just having a blast with the corny script. The true standout of this game though is its near perfect mix of humour with non-stop, all-out action gameplay that constantly mixes up its camera, genre, and even environment in a way that never lets the game have a single dull moment. I'm not sure there's anything this game doesn't have you doing. Have you ever wanted to control/fight on top of a scorpion? Well, here you can. It's cheesy as all hell, and that's no bad thing, as the game is a schlocky blast with solid combat, great set pieces, and a gleefully amusing tone that will have you smiling throughout. It may be a little short in length, but this is one turn your brain off and enjoy the ride experience you really don't want to miss.
Marlo Briggs and the Mask of Death.
We're going to have all the synthetic rubble we want.
What's the most memorable thing you remember about Sin City? Okay, yeah, Jessica Alba's dance scene, I agree.
Dad? Randy!
Oh, there was a ghost. There's ectoplasm.
What's the second most memorable thing you remember about Sin City? That's right, it's the movie's stunning graphic novel comes to life visuals. Well, I thought the only game to truly implement this look into playable form was Mad World for the Nintendo Wii, but I was wrong, as recently I stumbled across Mayhem 3D, a destruction derby vehicular smash 'em up racer glossed up with that oh so slick, oversaturated comic panel aesthetic. These alone, however, can't make a game worth playing, so I'm happy to say the crunch and crash carnage of Mayhem is a true joy to experience and lends itself so well to the gorgeous art style. The game is super easy to pick up and is jam-packed with so much content you'll find it hard to put down. I also have to mention that the comic-esque art design bleeds into every aspect of the game and makes even the menus a true delight to behold. The game's pumping soundtrack is also perfect for the explosive filled gameplay and just leads to Mayhem being dumb fun of the highest caliber. But before we move on, I have to shout out the game mode that plays out like some sort of sumo match as you ram the rival cars out of the arena. If you've ever watched Robot Wars, imagine that just with cars. I mean, come on, what's not to like? If you can track this one down, then make sure to add it to your collection.
So, what's your name?
I Teodel. Me free.
Your enjoyment of Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom is going to be largely based on how annoying you find the voice acting, as well, you're either going to love it or hate it, but if you can look past it, you'll be treated to a great story wrapped up in themes of loss, tragedy, and friendship, and it also doesn't hurt that this all takes place in one of the most lush, vibrant, and beautiful worlds you're likely to explore on the 360. Not only that though, but this game mixes platforming, combat, stealth, and puzzle solving to deliver us an experience that feels like part Zelda, part Enslaved, and a Metroidvania title. It shouldn't work as well as it does, but there's a lot of fun to be had here. Controlling and commanding your big, goofy Majin pal is never a chore either, and teaming up to solve puzzles and take down baddies is all hella satisfying, as is the constant sense of reward the game delivers with its progression system. And while it may not excel at everything it sets out to do, the great teamwork gameplay and stunning visuals make this an easy recommendation to anyone who wants to embark on a grand, mystical adventure.
Ha! Let's go!
This is a weird one. What can I really say about Mount Your Friends? I mean, it's a game where you stack scantily dressed meatheads on top of each other, and yeah, it's actually really freaking fantastic, and a frantic time-based juggling act of skill and precision that will not only keep you hooked, but will also have you laughing throughout. It's so goddamn weird. Get some mates together and, yeah, mount them, I guess. Apache Aerosol is strongly recommended by none other than my father. And I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised when he lent it to me, as once you've mastered the difficult controls, Apache Aerosol opens up into one big explosive treat that just about nails the perfect balance of simulation and arcade gameplay to deliver gamers a bombastic yet strategically fun time that has that one more go factor that will keep you playing for hours. But I have to stress that even though the game is pretty fair and gives the player multiple lives, it is extremely challenging and doesn't truly open up into a great experience till you've mastered the controls and how the overall game works. But once you do, there is a ton to enjoy here.
I'm in the grave, I'm on a roll at the cemetery. Go, 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 kicking eggs, I'm stomping bones at the cemetery. Go, go, go.
One of the best, most eccentric and weirdest arcade style beat 'em ups you probably overlooked is Charlie Murder. A brawler that's dark, twisted, yet silly and humorous tone is a true highlight that makes this one stand high above the rest. And yeah, sure, like most beat 'em ups, you'll just be walking around punching and kicking all that's in your way, but it's so masterfully presented and lovingly crafted here that it just, well, kinda rocks. This love is just woven into about every aspect of the punk rock theme of the game, from the tattoos and clothing that boost your stats and anarchy powers, yes I said anarchy, to the battle of the band story, just lend themselves perfectly to the uniqueness that Charlie Murder brings to the overpopulated genre. There's more to the story than meets the eye though, and little flashbacks don't paint the prettiest picture of the so-called heroes of the game, but that's something best left for you to experience for yourselves. So I'll just say that if you've ever wanted to blow up dynamite-strapped sharks while headbanging to one of the finest soundtracks in gaming, well, Charlie Murder is for you. However, to get the most out of this one, I do suggest you get your band of mates together and cause some anarchy with your anarchy. God, that was bad.
Even in the darkest of times, there is always hope.
Taking a much beloved, cute and colourful 3D platformer, making it darker, and adding in a ton of gameplay elements from the hack and slash genre shouldn't work, but The Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon is a shining example of how you can innovate and add to a formula in a meaningful way to create something that feels familiar, yet refreshingly new at the same time. So yeah, what you get with Dawn of the Dragon is a Spyro game with an epic, more mature story brought to life by an amazing voice cast that includes Elijah Wood, Gary Oldman, and even the GOAT himself, Mark Hamill. And gameplay wise, what you get is a Spyro game that's mechanics are fully fleshed out, from actual free flight to meaty combat and elemental powers that only get more destructive with each upgrade you obtain. It's just so good. The game can be played in co-op too, so you and your friend can burn through this heartfelt adventure together. It may not be what Spyro fans wanted, but it's a great game nonetheless.
Sometimes when all seems lost, a light shines through the darkness, and we are reminded courage can turn the tides of war.
The Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon.
Right, that's the video there and there, guys. If you want to help your bros on their way to 6,000 subscribers, well, we would appreciate you hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to leave a comment down below so we can have a good old jolly chinwag. And until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, but most importantly, stay tipsy.